in 2025. Caelan Doris and his men, tonight in white, will emerge from the catacombs of this magnificent stadium. But they'll be greeted by the most gargantuan of challenges on the planet. Ireland looking to derail this double World Cup winning juggernaut, intent on cross-hemisphere domination. From St Stephen's Green to Ballsbridge, the city has been bouncing by the prospect of the box. And Rudolf Gerhardus Sneeman, Erger on the high belt, but RG round these parts. The founding father of the bomb squad, on his 50th cap, leads the teams out. Well, if the front boat of the Dynamite, RG Sneeman, is the fuse, and fittingly, this atmosphere which feels ready to explode for the final encounter in Dublin for this Quilter Nations series. Faces that know one another oh so well from some titanic clashes around the globe, ready to lock horns once more in the name of their nations. Both sides have played down the talk of grudge matches, but they have acknowledged the fiercest of rivalries.
We are delighted to welcome, on her first official visit to Aviva Stadium,
well, it's a very Dublin feel when you see the red triangular path laid out for some presidential pomp and ceremony. Inaugurated earlier this month, the new president of Ireland, Galway-born Catherine Connolly, succeeding another Galway person in Michael D. Higgins, emerges to greet the players. Well, a symbolic 7 years with equality at the heart of her message has commenced, and her first bow at the Aviva Stadium. She's the President of Ireland, but, well, worth looking up on your alternate screen. The Queen of Keepy Uppies, millions of viral views. Skill so sharp, it merited an inquest into deep fakes and all of that sort of stuff. And here, with another statesperson of the highest order, Sia Khaleesi, the totem of a team that is so much more than a rugby team, a unifier of a country, a team without class, without race, but also without a win in Dublin for 13 long years. That's the first time we've been deigned with the company of the President. And Brian and Rory, this must take you back, guys, these special moments before enormous test matches like this.
Yeah, it's always been part and parcel of the biggest games, Six Nations big games or November series games. where the president comes out and greets everyone, but a big moment for her as well. You know, her first international here as president, and over the course of the next number of years, she'll befriend some of these players. They'll become very familiar to her. But you know it's a big game when the president is coming to watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very unique to Ireland. I don't remember too many grounds you go to where they do this, and I think as a captain, it's almost one of the most nerve-wracking things you do, to make sure you remember everyone's name along the way.
But I've forgotten once or twice. You call lads nicknames because the speed of which it happens as well. It's very, very quick, and you know the president sometimes pauses for a quick chat with someone they might know, but then moves on very quickly on certain players, and you kind of go, gosh, stay on top of this, Brian, stay on top of it.
Esteemed company, for a night that is just simmering with anticipation of the clash to come. And as the players and the Aviva applaud the departing president, they now prime themselves for the anthems, Aron Nevian and Ireland's Call, which will be preceded by Okozi Sikeleli I Africa.
Will be performed by young Irish South African star Niamh Beatrix, while Aron Nevian and Ireland's Call will be sung by former Munster and Ireland star Barry Murphy, signed for us by Sean Hurley, supported by Helen Newman, and accompanied by the Army Band under the baton of Captain William Chester.
Australia leaves little cause for tinkering for Andy Farrell. Added experience comes with Andrew Porter reinstated to the starting 15 and front row. James Ryan and Ty Burner reunited in the engine room. Josh van der Fleer has recovered from a hamstring strain to match captain Caelan Doris. All eyes on Sam Prendergast's biggest game of his career. A fresh but familiar duo outside him. A first start of the QNS for Bundy Arki and a first since Chicago for Gary Ringrose. It was always our plan to name an experienced outfit against Ireland, said Rassi, and he's done just that. 876 caps boasted in the starting 15 and 2 World Player of the nominees in the pack, Marks and Du Toit. Well, the new wonder kid, Sasha Feinberg and Goma Zulu, is going toe-to-toe with Sam Prendergast tonight. Outside of him, he's got nearly 200 caps in Damien Dialende and Jesse Creel. Kana Moody faces Ireland for the first time in his career. Well, the bench is Tom Farrell is going to get his second cap when he rises from the pine. And for South Africa, is it a 4-4? Is it a 6-2? Wagga Smith and Andre Esterhuizen in there.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Number 10s are going to have huge influence on the game, but let's be honest, this game is going to be won up front. Rory and the two boys at number 2, you'll know better than anyone else. Sheehan is such a catalyst for everything good about Ireland, and Malcolm Marks, World Player of the Year nominee. How much did you relish these huge physical encounters?
Yeah, look, these are the matches you want to play in. Perfect conditions, a little bit cold for a front 5, for a front row, for a hooker. It cools you down a little bit, you're not going to sweat too much. But look, these are the 2 best hookers in the world going at each other. One is so explosive in the loose, the other is so good at set piece and a breakdown, and I cannot wait for this match.
Well, Paris and Twickenham may have something to say, and we could be a little biased, but for our money, this is the game of the autumn. Paris, Pretoria, Durban, and now Dublin, the 4th instalment of this increasingly relevant and relentlessly ramping rivalry. A Quilter Nation Series blockbuster to draw down affairs in Dublin this November. Gibson Park looks so comfortable when he stepped in at 10 last week and shows fly half hands to release low, a try scorer. Over in South Africa last summer. Prendergast, so much expectation, sells his other starlet.
Outside 10!
But then catches an edge off his boot. Hansen,
That's fine,
hand bandaged up heavily at training yesterday. He was a doubt, but he's already getting an early touch. Just his second start in the fullback jersey for Ireland, and what a muscular carry from Baird. Low,
14,
back to the boot.
out.
Can't, wrong foot, Cheslin Colby. The mist from the pyrotechnics has hardly cleared, and already it's a huge start, a fiery start from both sides, and Bundy Arki, you feel, has a big game in him tonight, wins the penalty.
Ball, please, then off your feet.
Yeah, frenetic start by both teams, really good from Ireland, getting to the edge on a couple of occasions. James Lowe choosing to nudge the ball through rather than carrying into the collision zone. Oh yeah, great start. Began with a dropout that looked more akin to a Gary Owen. It was so high, had snow on it by the time it came down, but so lovely subtlety from both teams. Lovely touch early on from Sam Prendergast, and it was second man arriving. The ruck had already formed. Matthew Carley, referee, adjudged advantage Ireland, first grade attacking position.
Sheehan circumvents the entire line out and finds the returning Van der Fleer. That hamstring strain shaken off, and then Sheehan back in for a big carry. Ireland know they have to bring the physicality, and Prendergast needs to bring the guile, almost slipping through the net, but Jasper Visa gets his man. Oh, thunderous shot on Andrew Porter, reintroduced to the starting lineup, and then Visa, after the shot, locks his jaws down on the ball.
Yeah, he went hard after the one when there was a penalty to South Africa, and you just see here Ireland clearing the threats, but because Porter got knocked back, The ruck is beyond it. They're off their feet, and Jasper Wiese, he is very, very quick. South Africa have a number of threats over the ball, and you can just see already they're going to go hard after that breakdown.
Put the ball down. Jameson, put the ball down. Just put the ball down.
Andy Farrell has had some autumn. Eddie Jones, Joe Schmidt,
please. Thank you.
and now Rassie before him. A sense of the final boss about the South African mad professor. Fully arched and right to the tail. Peter stepped the toy at full stretch, and South Africa with a penalty to work
Players
with.
underneath.
Oh, Dialende shows wonderful footwork and then offloads to Wiese.
Where was that, Christoph?
Ireland scrambling. And Feinberg and Gomezulu just slotted Kobe through a hole. Peter stepped the toy. Willemse for the left-hand corner. A blitzkrieg from the books in the opening 4 minutes in Dublin.
Started with the maul. It is always a big risk when you compete and miss it, that the team get the initiative, penalty advantage. Then it eventually came to this with on the gain line, and then once Mac Hansen's trying to get high to try to stop it, but once he missed that, it was just a matter of who was going to score. It felt like Rico.
To a man, everyone has done a phenomenal job there. Cheslin Colby really impressive, because he could have overplayed his hand, carried for longer than he did, but he realized the space was out wide for the likes of Willemse, who acrobatically scores in the corner. Really, really impressive initial launch from South Africa.
No dice for Sasha Feinberg and Gomezulu. They're heavily involved here.
It needed the drama, it really did.
Sam.
It was a lovely, lovely finish. All the hard graft was done on those inside workings. Really, really impressive. Hard ball carrying, catch pass, simplicity.
Wiese loves a run-up, and he
Inside.
meets his match.
Use it!
And Ryan Baird feels a big autumn for him. His best
Play
run
the
ever
ball.
in a starter's jersey. Reinhardt doesn't quite get that out of the middle, and somehow South Africa have kept it in play. Hansen, our key player of the match when they defeated the Springboks at the World Cup in France. Back to the short side, back to Lowe. One-on-one with Colby, dismissed by Lowe. But Willemse won't buy the dummy. Gibson Park, Prendergast, Archie, the third layer of attack. Hansen fizzes one to O'Brien. Tommy with the pace, but not enough power. But was there an arm in that challenge?
I think there's something in this, and there's a bit of afters as well to boot, because we're not the only ones that felt as though there was a little bit of a cheap shot thrown in there. We're going to need a replay to confirm it. It looked like a tucked shoulder. It's not. Peter Steff.
I suggest you go to Gary.
It's that shot from Sasha Feinberg, Gomezulu. You could argue his body position doesn't allow for him to get his arm up, but I think that's being very generous to him.
So are you. Come on, away. Away.
Yes, certainly, Drico, when you get into that position, I agree with you about the body shape, but once you can put that
but clearly we've got
hand
no
behind
arms
your...
tackle, and then we've got the scuffle after, so then I think we need to look at both. There's a clear check from the TMO.
Okay, so, Jacko, you'd like us to put this on the screen for a formal review? Okay. Can we just wait, please, while I move the players? You go with your team. You go clearly away with your team. We're going to look at the screen. Okay, TMO check. We're looking at the actions of South Africa 10.
Correct, looking at potential no arms and potential head contact.
Sasha Feinberg and Gomezulu's challenge on Tommy O'Brien scrutinised.
It's it's also, it looks, is it always illegal because his arm doesn't come up?
In full speed.
And where does he make contact?
Right, we're not going to do this until you. We're not going to do it until you move away. So
that right arm never made an attempt. It's funny from the other angle. It looks like his left is trying to get up, but ultimately it's that right arm is the problem.
The contact with that shoulder is.
Most of the force of that shoulder is into the chest. There is slight head contact.
So it's onto the shoulder and then it moves up to the head.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Christoph. Okay. So, Jacko, we have a decision.
Okay, come back to you now.
We're not convinced that it's a no-arms tackle, but we do believe that there is head contact. The player is falling, so we're going to go with a penalty restart in 15.
Okay.
Okay, hang on. Come here, and you come here. Move away. It's a penalty against you, so back on the line. What happens subsequently is not acceptable. If that happens again, a player from each side, at least, will be leaving the field and going to the bin. I don't want to hear your players telling me that players are running in when they're doing exactly the same. Control your team, control your team. That is a line in the sand. And I'm giving a penalty. That's the end of the discussion.
There's no doubt South Africa will be very relieved. There's a lot of talk in the media this week that they feel very hard done by with a couple of the red cards. Maybe that's the ledger being balanced out. That could easily have gone to the bunker, could easily have been a yellow card. Don't think any more than that, but certainly they'll be relieved, but still in a very difficult position to defend now.
Well, one thing it's done is it has stoked the fires of this bubbling crowd as Baird goes off the top and Archie is shot into the midfield of the Springboks. Short side on offer, but it's a brilliant hit from Caelan Moodie. Baird, hungry for carries, travelling into Marks and Visa. Now Doris, the captain, back wearing 8. Oh, the South Africans have quelled this attacking tide for the time being from the men in white. Prendergast to Hansen, just skirts the challenge, then the strength of Lowe, then O'Brien, still not quite there.
First on his feet.
And it is a miraculous steal on the deck. How have South Africa managed to get their sticky paws on that?
Use it! Right, enough now, Josh.
Andy Farrell will be very, very annoyed. I'm sure all week they've talked about the jackal threat, the breakdown threat from South Africa.
You're not in front of the ball and
to be a couple of metres out and give up another turnover after some very, very good play.
This is absolutely brilliant from Thomas Tutoy.
Edge of the line. Yeah.
Watch the position he gets in. Immediately, the speed at which he managed to get down and siphon the ball away there. That is a top quality skill from a very, very big man.
I think the big thing is there, Drick, as well, he lifts the ball. If he dives off his feet like that, have him try to go for the penalty, it's a penalty against him.
Option. Scrum or line? Scrum or line?
Yeah, look, this is the big thing you can't do against South Africa. You can't go mistake on mistake.
For me, that was
obviously,
the
from a hooker's point of view, I think that's very, very harsh. But when you compete...
Well, it has been an Achilles heel of Ireland in recent times, dating all the way back to the Rugby World Cup in France. It had a reprieve last week in being flawless against Australia, but first pressure applied by the Springboks.
Yeah, and I think Paul O'Connell will be in that coach's box. Again, it looked like Ryan Bird went to spin out, and again, that miscommunication. It's the drill that is destroying them at the minute. Ireland just need to tighten that up.
Fenter, Marks, Dutoy, Porter, Sheehan, Furlong. Tons of pressure through the shoulders of those front rows, and now Feinberg and Glomazulu, the moment to go, gets wiped out by Ringrose. Caelan Moodie, who set up a beautiful try for Grant Williams last week.
No lift. He's
been a real mainstay of this Springbok side throughout the Rugby Championship. And so too in these autumns, and Glomazulu, devoid of options.
Over.
Picks the wrong one, no
let go,
advantage
South
either.
Africa, get off, get off.
The insurance policy
Too
had
many players on the
expired.
ball.
And Prendergast looks up, looked like he wanted a run from Tommy O'Brien. Instead he goes end over end for a bit of territory.
It was over.
Yeah, very, very good kick. He looked like he was going to put it in the air. I think then he looked up and saw it was Khaleesi on the wing and just said, look, let's keep turning South Africa. When you're playing a team of this size and stature, you've got to try to keep turning them. Those big men, when they're going backwards, just feel a little bit more tired. Hopefully South Africa fall into that bracket.
I think Feinberg and Gomazulu expected that penalty advantage to go back. He was playing with a freebie, but Matthew Carley was having none of it.
Let go,
Sia
tackle,
Khaleesi
get out,
hits that seam down the Prendergast channel. Andy Farrell very quick to bat away.
Let's play.
Journalistic inquiries as to the strength of Prendergast defence this week.
Knock-on advantage.
But already South Africa looking to test the 10. The other
Advantage over.
young up-and-comer, Feinberg and Gomazulu, picks out the best fullback in the world. Hansen, fresh from a hat-trick, chases after. Lowe's gonna just about time things right with Willemse. And we play on. Wonderful flow to the match at the moment. But the call comes in. The timing was slightly off. And South Africa have the penalty.
It's an unlucky one. I think it's James Lowe is the guilty party. He does at the very last minute try and withdraw himself from the collision. He does get him in the air, even though he pulls out of it and allows him get down to the ground with safety. The referee thought there was enough in it to penalise him.
Ireland on the line.
Sasha Feinberg and Gomazulu has borrowed my sand wedge for a moment.
Yeah, he hit it the same direction as you normally hit it as well.
Well, he's an immense prospect, Sasha Feinberg and Gomazulu, and he's enough that Rassie Erasmus is taking his hand away from that little hammer to smash the emergency glass that contains Andre Pollard. Marnie Libot, the other option on the bench at fly half tonight. Khaleesi just rides through for some meters that weren't his to be made.
Use it! No, enough.
Reinach, 35 years old, the speed of a 20-year-old.
Unclear.
From the right hand of Sheehan.
No, good contest.
Prendergast. Hansen off the head of Arkey, and Ringrose gets swallowed by Moody.
No, 12 off. Ruck already formed.
Doris, 2 Springboks set upon him.
Cobus,
It's a real hunger at the breakdown from the visitors at the moment. Ireland having to resource the ruck heavily.
Tackle. Right, use it.
And a high, hanging, contestable height for O'Brien to climb. Willemse doesn't gather cleanly, and the scrum will be Ireland's.
Yeah, Ireland are going to have to get this scrum now. There's only been one. But the big thing that South Africa look for, without getting too technical, is they're going to look for Andrew Porter to swing his hips out, and then they're going to try to put the force of those 3 big men in the front row through Ireland's 2 men, and Dan Sheehan and Tag Furlong. So Porter is going to have to be unbelievably disciplined.
Give each other enough space, okay? I'll come and have a look, but the last scrum looked a bit close on the set. On the bind, sorry. Good height, though. Okay, good patience. Go, boys!
A combined weight of 260 kilos between Boerewinter and Thomas du Toit.
Set!
Malcolm Marx is no small man, bookended by those 2 giants, and Doris isn't hanging around.
Keep coming, thank you. Right, that ball is out.
So fast off his feet. Just takes away the ankles of the Irish captain.
Right, use it. Counter's good, don't touch the 9, that's enough, you're off your feet.
Well, du Toit, he can't swing himself round. It's one of the World Rugby laws that is coming in to stop cynical play. O'Brien hunting down Moody.
Player falling.
And Moody looks so composed, so classy.
2 hands. Ball is out.
How did Reinach get that one away? Massive left
No,
shoulder
Andrew,
arise
no
from
one.
Andrew Porter.
Use it.
There's a real sense of chaos
Enough
and
now,
mayhem
7. Enough.
in
No,
the breakdown
no,
at the moment.
Good
Tooth
choice,
and nail
3-6.
stuff from both sides. As the most capped Springbok ever, Eben Etherbed.
Use it.
Just nosedives. And Reinach, he's not clubbed right again.
No touch.
But everyone misses until Ruan Norkia gets gobbled up by more Irish arms.
Now you're off feet. There go. Supporting your own weight. Use it. Right, use it.
Just the briefest of lulls, and maybe enough serenity for Reinach to get his distance right, and he does. Colby springs up to challenge Hansen. And at the moment, Ireland are first to sweep the crumbs on all these kicks. Furlong, Prendergast,
Penalty.
Ringrose spots a bit of
See what
undefended
happens.
grass, and O'Brien is after it.
Offside.
Springboks offside though.
There's a very
The
good
ruck
option from
shifted
Gary
and the
Ringrose.
players never
The
retreated with
execution
the ruck.
wasn't exactly as he wanted. He was trying to angle it a little bit more towards that touchline in the 22. Once it got on the ground, it just started bobbling a little bit towards the coverage. Helped them out. Otherwise, it could have been a
Just be careful.
foot rush to
once we
see
have a
who
ruck, even
was
if the
going to get
players
there
go to
early,
the
but
ground, and
nonetheless,
obviously hands going in.
coming back for
Just be
that
careful.
penalty.
Even if we have a ruck and it goes to
Sloppy
the floor,
few
can't be
moments
good.
from South
Won't
Africa.
keep
A couple of
making-
loose box kicks
keep
from
making good
Reinach.
decisions.
The white kit for Ireland, by the way, if you're wondering, harking back to sort of the traditions of, well, dating back centuries to when touring teams would wear their home kit, so they didn't have to bring quite as much stash. Ireland in white. And Ireland supercharged. There's been an incredible intensity to this opening 17 minutes.
I think for anyone watching out there that absolutely loves their line out, South Africa are unbelievable to watch. It's just the athleticism, the way they read, the way they're doing what you would call a mirror defence, and they're trying to cut off all of Ireland's options. Ireland are trying to use movement and a few bit of deception and decoys, but they move so fast and they're so big, these guys.
Well, Ireland, not content with a throw to the tail, add another 5 metres or so on. And they build a slow, deliberate maul.
Penalty advantage.
Prendergast gets a bit of a deflection. They need to take down Colby.
Side entry.
But they always had the penalty.
Yeah, but it became a maul, and then players subsequently entered from the side. 4 and 7.
As you said, Joe, that line out
Just
was all of
outside the
20
15.
metres. As soon as you exit beyond the 15, both
That's it,
sides are
behind
able to
the
rush up. It means the line out is over.
onto your
You
back
have
player.
to throw to that pod, which Ireland did. But then it was from the ensuing next breakdown that South Africa were ruled to have been illegal, giving Ireland an opportunity to get themselves on the score sheet.
Speak to Christoph if you want clarity.
Well, this young Leinsterman who has been thrust into this 10 jersey, age 21 for his debut. Just to put it into perspective, Johnny Sexton was 24 when he first pulled on the green of Ireland. Huge weight of responsibility on his shoulders. Not just tonight, but for the designs that everyone in Dublin has. Cannoned off the upright and low. Smartest to react. Ringrose hurtles into green jerseys. Ireland doing the best with an errant kick, and the Viva roaring Van der Fleer almost through a hole. Ringrose, oh, back into heavy Springbok traffic. Oh, that's a clumsy looking clear out from Ryan, but Doris will continue to deliver. Irish runners stuttering. Burn! Burn for Ireland! The Kildare man with the killer blow from point blank range for Ireland.
Patient score for Ireland. Actually, James at Gibson Park, the ball just jammed on him ever so slightly. We are going to the TMO.
We're looking out for a illegal clear out by Ireland number 4.
The one that you called out, Joe, the legality of this clear out is being questioned. Well, the law dictates you're not allowed to go off your feet at ruck time. You often do, but that is probably a bit clear and obvious going off your feet. I'd say it's going to be a penalty against James Ryan.
Yeah, Dricker, you also have to make an attempt to wrap.
Okay, so the South African player, number 10, was over the ball jackling. He is pulled to floor by the Ireland player. And then the Irish player is then late arriving, number 4. I believe it's definite head contact.
Yes.
But glancing. But, okay. Can we just see one more time from the touchline, please?
Yeah, coming for you.
Well, there's more in that. That's making contact. I don't know how glancing that is.
The dynamic of him falling over that player, so we're not sure whether that arm will come. So I'm going to send it to off field. Number 4. Okay. Okay, we have a decision. Number 4 is an illegal clear out and makes contact with the head. It will be a yellow card and it will go for an off-field review.
I think Matthew Carney's quite right. He's looking at it. He's probably thinking that there's more to it, like you said, Dricker, when he's just deferred it to the bunker.
I didn't initially see the illegality of it, and that might be the double whammy in this. If you do make head contact and you're always illegal, you could find this one upgraded to a red card very easily. It just depends on the perspective of how much contact or how impactful that collision is, and it looks significant.
Yeah, the big one is he looked wildly out of control as well.
A rush of blood to the head of James Ryan denies Ireland the try, and a player for the next 10 minutes, maybe more.
As soon as you move forward.
Depending
as soon as you move forward
on the potential upgrade. The Springboks reluctant to find touch right now. And Prendergast may have just found it, but a little prematurely. It's a big error to hand territorial dominance back to the Springboks.
It's just getting away from Ireland a little bit, isn't it? You know, when you have the double whammy of scoring a try, having that chalked off, you lose a man to the bin. Last thing you want to do is compound that with another error. That's what Prendergast has done, and now South Africa sense there's great opportunity with an additional man in the pack. There's every chance that this one's going to be mauled.
Yeah, Ryan. Thank you. Timing, no problem.
But we can see South Africa just looking to bust through the middle. Peter Steph du Toit, 2-time World Player of the Year, and nominee. The decoy, and well, the height of Hansen a little too much for Moody. And I think we're going to hear from former Ireland international winger Tommy Bowe on Matt Hansen, in fact.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. Yeah, the atmosphere down here pitch side, real disappointment there. Ireland getting themselves right back into the game. Of course, the ball off the post. James Lowe, fantastic in the opening 20 minutes. Matt Hansen, also a doubt coming into this game, has been wonderful. Ireland getting themselves into the right areas of the pitch, but they need to be more clinical and they need to come away with points. That yellow card, a hammer blow for this Irish side. As South Africa, you just don't know what they can pull out of their hat.
Well, Hansen, the man involved again, he's playing a good role as a goalkeeper, let alone a fullback. Two would-be kicks blocked out
I can hear you.
by the man who just lit this stadium up last week against Australia.
Let's not lose the tempo,
funny
please, guys.
Undrick was pointing that last line out, or the two ones previous. It's very surprising to see South Africa not going to the maul. They're going to suck in one of Ireland's players. Don't be surprised they go for it now.
York here. Huge presence in the line-out for South Africa in the Rugby Championship. The man to go to, but Byrne, talismanic for the Lions this summer, pulls through. And Ireland are showing just the fight that delights this Dublin crowd. Oh, it's ponderous from low.
Still inside.
But when you're as strong as Ireland's left wing, you can often get yourself out of jail, even when you've talked yourself in there.
Use it! Wait here, wait!
It's going to be an interesting period of time that without James Ryan, or whether it's 10 or whether it's 20 minutes, that just Ireland, the line out, you can't give South Africa clean ball in the line out. But you've also got to be careful of the man down, not to let their maul get momentum. The breakdown as well, you can't chase the breakdown too much and then end up with too many players in there. So how they navigate this next period of time is going to be very, very interesting.
South Africa launch another assault. This one's going to come down with a bit of stardust on it. So hard. Hansen again owns the airspace, and Ireland once more goes straight out on the full.
No, backwards off Ireland, I call.
Really good from Mac Hansen initially, because it was, again, a really, really high Gary Owen, but Mac gets up higher than Caden Moody.
On the cut.
Bats it back, and then Tommy O'Brien is the one that kicks it straight into touch. That's why we go back to that point for a South African line-out. Another great attacking opportunity, and their line-out has really been going well.
And now Ireland steal themselves. Jesse Creel, like a missile, just ducking beneath the arms and penetrating the Irish defence. The missile followed by the wrecking ball, and Nortje. Ireland circling the wagons.
Away, Ireland!
Visa denied, but one last menacing carry.
We will have to look at that pass.
From Bonfenter.
We will look at it. I've already alerted the TMO. I've already alerted
South
the TMO.
Africa have their second try of the night.
Before we go back to the restart. The pass inside from 8, I think.
It's just a query, isn't there, about that offload from Visa, I think it is. Whether it comes out of his hand forward. It's this one here. He gets pirouetted around. I think that one does travel forward, doesn't it?
Time off.
Going to show you a forward pass.
Okay, so we've got a TMO check. So that pass there, we believe, is forward, Jacko?
Correct.
Okay, so we have a decision. Happy?
Yeah, over to you.
The pass from 8 inside to number 5 comes out of the hands forward. It will be no try and a scrum to Ireland.
He doesn't even wait for his TMO decision. He's called it himself, and that's what World Rugby 1 referees, not having too much dead time, not waiting a minute, seeing multiple replays, but actually catching on the big screen once and going, right, it's a forward pass, let's go forward. And now the unenviable task for Ireland to defend a scrum, which they've been on the receiving end in the first couple.
And the second row down as well, Drick. I'm sure they'll probably bring Bundy Aki into the side of that scrum to try to help them. They'll try to go channel 1, get it away nice and quickly and set it up. And from an Irish point of view, it'll be let's get out of this 22 as quickly as we can. But South Africa worked that really, really well back down that blind side. The big missed pass from Renock.
Yeah, but you've got to trust that I can see that clearly.
Making a break, and look, the offload is forward, but Ireland are going to have to be very, very aware.
Make sure you're bound in. I know.
I think from a scrum point of view, and you're watching this, you'll watch the impact that Malcolm Marks has. He's almost trying to lift that Irish front row to get them a little bit higher, and then it comes down to how much weight and power you have, which South Africa have abundance of.
Bundy Aki, Ireland's answer to Esther Hazen, inserts himself in the back row, and Doris does remarkably.
Onside.
Ireland, it is all hands to the pump right now in their 22, just looking to survive
Make a good choice here.
this yellow card period that's yet to be determined. Willemse. He's going to catch this one. Hesitant from Ireland, and they're just feeding the ambition and the belief of the Springboks. A kick scrambles towards the corner, but it's well watched by Hansen.
Gricko, I would never question Jameson Gibson Park, but you wonder there, being down to 14 men, whether you get that off the pitch.
Time off. Okay.
It's time to hear the verdict. Will we see James Ryan again in this match?
Helen. Thank you. We have a decision from the bunker. The yellow card will be upgraded to a 20-minute red card because it is high danger, because the action is always illegal.
Well, his first red card of his career, a 20-minute one for this. Rush of blood to the head.
I don't know if you could hear the referee there where he said he was always illegal, and that's where there's no mitigation comes into play. If you're always illegal and there's head contact, you're looking at red card.
Dan Jones, the foul play review officer, who was the man who upgraded Ty Burns. It's now the turn of James Ryan. Tommy O'Brien just almost has it in his grasp. And it is a dozen depleted minutes now for Ireland to navigate until they get the respite of half-time.
Yeah, Joe, I think that's exactly it. They've now got to really navigate this next 12 minutes. They've got to try to get out of their own half. They've got to get control of the game. Can't keep going set piece to set piece. That's South Africa's game. They're going to try to pepper the air the way they have. But Ireland now, they're just going to have to knuckle down, and it's going to be a huge defensive effort needed for the next. But we got just over 12 minutes. I think on these ones, it's where your scrum half and Ireland have an incredibly smart one where he's going to have to make decisions, sitting in the backfield a bit, plugging into the holes in the line where he's needed.
All eyes on Cobus Reinach here as well. He's such a threat. Travels a little. Dialende just skips it on to his centre partner. Those two know each other so well. Dual double World Cup winners.
That was brilliant from Doris there. Really important.
Yeah, you went that way.
That counter ruck stopped the quick possession for South Africa that had made good inroads. Knowing that there was penalty advantage, happy to concede 3 or fight to have another shot off this next line out. But good from the Ireland captain. We're going to need some big moments from an Irish perspective now.
This is one of the key battlegrounds, and it is one that is being bested by South Africa right now. 2 lineouts lost to Ireland in this first half. A forest of enormous arms of the Springboks to contend with, and it's clean as a whistle once again for the double world champions. Malcolm Marks, a prolific try scorer from these positions, just slotted in at the back, and Ireland can't help but be illegal.
Number 1 on the floor. They fell over number 1.
Ireland initially defended that very, very well, and then most teams at that stage will try to move it, but South Africa backed themselves. They put a little bit more squeeze on, and then I think it was Andrew Porter was a judge to have pulled it down. Be interesting to see if they go scrum or line out.
Scrum.
Both aspects of their play are exceptional at the moment, but they're really fancying themselves in this scrum contest. Porter just loses his feet, and as a result, whether it's intentional or not, trips up that maul, bringing it down. Easy viewpoint for the referee to see the penalty. Stay of execution for Ireland.
And Ireland opt to put Bundy on the blind side. There'll be a man down in the back line as the darting eyes of Cobus Reinach surveys the scene.
Yeah, I think it's sort of probably a bit of a spotlight on that sort of the Irish squad on the Irish bench.
Do not lean across on the bind like that, and do not pre-engage.
Second row, and maybe the last quarter of the game. But it's kind of one of those where you need a big scrummaging lock behind Tadhg Furlong and Andrew Porter at the minute. Andrew Porter is going to have to keep his right side really, really square. The referee is going to be going after him. Yeah, I don't imagine the ball being played to these three.
Hold your weight.
Look at it. Well, on penalty advantage, watch the three of these flooding the line, because if you do see an arm stretched out from the referee, South Africa are excellent at playing that penalty advantage. They will go to one of those three, charging the line, trying to get after Tommy O'Brien or Prendergast.
More penalty advantage, more time for Moody and Co to shine. Oh, it is a jolting
on the outside
hit from Tommy O'Brien, who looks to have done himself a mischief in doing anything he could to stop Canan Moody.
Two players injured, stop. He's not for me, he's square. You are the first person to take a step to the left, and then that's what's causing you to come out, okay? You must stay in front of him.
And could more punishment be meted out for an Irishman here?
Time.
Looks like a horrific collision first and foremost. I hope both players are going to be okay, particularly Tommy O'Brien. He is a little bit high. He doesn't have that hinge of his hips that referees are looking for.
Okay, so we have a TMO check.
Where is the impact? Where is the collision? There's some cheers from the crowd here, thinking that
White 14,
Moody might be to blame. He's not.
With South Africa 14.
Is he maybe wrong-footed by the fact that it almost goes to Dialende in there?
No, the reality is there's head contact there. How severe it is, again, is up to the referee and TMO. But you could easily find another bunker situation. He's hit him in the jaw. He has.
Yeah, and I think Drickle, just because he loses the collision, doesn't take away from that fact.
So we're considering penalty only. So we're between penalty and yellow card at the moment. He's really passive, and some of the forces through the chest to the chest. Okay, so we have an agreement between us. So we have a decision. Jacko, we're going to go for a penalty only. We believe the player is extremely passive, and although he makes head contact, both players are dipping into the action as well.
Yeah, fine with that.
Okay, so it's going to be a penalty. You've got a choice of a penalty here or a penalty over there.
South Africa escaped early on. Ireland might
it's on the 15 or
feel
on the 5.
that they're a bit fortunate there. I've certainly seen those ones, even though it is a more passive collision. That upright nature does often merit a yellow card when there is a head contact, which there clearly was.
Penalty. I've already spoken to their prop to change his actions.
Tommy O'Brien was that Matthew Carley started at a yellow and then was looking for mitigation to come down rather than starting at the high level. But yeah, look, I totally agree with you.
Must improve, okay? Stay up,
but
stay square.
Another scrum.
Yeah, of course.
Ireland
weight on the bind,
dropping to 13 on this occasion, but the danger isn't done. The creaks are getting that little more audible with every scrum that the eights embrace.
Joey, this is just
I'm terribly sorry. I've had a late call. We've got to get a player off for
the ground is their friend.
14, you've got to go for a head injury assessment.
They've got to think about their chest getting towards the ground, because South Africa, like we said earlier, they're trying to lift them. and that's allowing
that's fine.
Thomas Couture to get through. So Ireland have got to be thinking, you go down. If you're Dan Sheehan in the middle of that scrum, you're thinking, worst case scenario, we take it to ground.
Tommy O'Brien is going to head off for an HIA. Looks like he's got the same nose guy as Harry Potter from the week before as well. And, well, I'd say there's a few Munstermen in the crowd because Jack Crowley is getting some reception. It's a real reshuffle for Ireland here. And, well, Jamison Gibson-Park deputised at fullback last week. He looked pretty good at 10. And it's going to be a real conundrum as to how Ireland position their players.
It's interesting that they've opted for Crowley instead of Tom Farrell. Obviously, there's no like-for-like replacement really there. You have to have that little shuffle around. Matt going out onto the wing, Crowley at fullback where he's well accustomed to playing.
Both up at the same time.
Well, it'll be a scrum reset. Not that Tyke Furlong agrees, but even then, just halting the South African charge, denying them a penalty, that's being rapturously received here in the Aviva.
Yes, Joe, and just even the opportunity for Tyke Furlong to question Matthew Carney put a little bit of doubt to his head.
And the assistant referee's stay down, the more we have a contest, okay?
He always looks to lose at scrum time tag anyway.
South Africa
hold your ball,
dominating possession this last 10 minutes. Setting up camp in the Irish 22. They've held firm to this point. But this Quilter Nations crucible heats up a few more degrees as the front rows lock horns. And South Africa have yet more penalty advantage. Giolende this time does get his carry, and Ringrose has to work in unison with Prendergast. More indiscretions, more big men running at Irish defenders. Eben Etzebeth, the only man who knows how it feels to win a match in Dublin for South Africa. Peter Steptoe. Ireland infringing with abandon. Comas! Razor edge, Reinach slices through the Irish defence like a scalpel.
Could be worse for Ireland as well. Matthew Carley looks as though he's reaching into his pocket again.
In the same sequence, offside.
For another yellow card. Double bad news for Ireland. It's Sam Prendergast. Certainly don't want to lose your playmaker. You don't want to lose anyone, but neither your halfbacks are the ones you want to go to the bin. But Reinach, really well taken score. Jeez, it's been coming. It really has. Ireland have done well to limit it to 5 points, and now with an extra man gone, they're going to be properly up against it for the remainder of this half at least.
Yeah, Dirk, I think he got Sam Prendergast didn't roll away from a couple of rucks previous. He's offside there. It just shows you there's a lesson in that, where a lot of times teams get penalty advantage and they try something miracle, but actually if you can accumulate or cause the opposition to accumulate penalties, then it puts a bit of pressure on the referee to go to further sanction of that yellow card.
Arasi said this week it'll take a colossal effort to beat Ireland in Dublin. It's something he's never achieved as a coach.
That's play.
Only as a player. But it is now Ireland who must find an inner strength. Down to 13, trailing by a dozen on the scoreboard. And 5 minutes and a bit of change to survive as this pulsating half of Quilter Nation Series rugby. Moody hits Hansen's pocket in the skies, and South Africa are rocking and rolling, and they're queuing up out wide. Creel, Peter Steptoe gets clattered by Arki, and a bit of chaos ensues on the deck, and Van der Fleer drops on the grenade. Cynical. Shades of Cody Taylor last week, but I think it'll just be the penalty against South Africa. Welcome respite, though, for the Irish.
Yeah, well, James Lowe was thinking about taking a quick tap. He thought again about it. Just a great opportunity for Ireland. Really good scramble defence to get themselves back in the point with so many numbers down. And a half-decent kick to the corner to boot.
The loneliest seat in the Aviva belongs to Sam Prendergast. Just under 8 minutes to go, and James Ryan in the background, the spectre of the second row, and his deeds. His time to be served, but he won't return. Cian Prendergast and Jack Conan, the options to replace him in a few minutes' time. What a claim from Ryan Baird. Ireland need to rally. They need their big men. They need guys like Josh Van der Fleer. A barnstorming break from the back row. Anarchy like a rocket. Almost there. Sheehan. Down the man with a taste for tries. Feasts on the South African defence. And drags Ireland back into the contest.
It's funny, before that you felt like regardless of scoring, Ireland needed to just stay in this South African 22 for the next 3-4 minutes. It was a brilliant take by Ryan Baird, break off by Josh Van der Fleer, and then it's just about speed of breakdown, which they haven't had in the South African 22 yet. But then Gibson Park, just smart options. Dan Sheehan, who has been very, very heavily involved in the loose in this first half so far, finishing really, really well. But this is exactly what Ireland needed.
It was just intent, wasn't it? That's all it was. Hard ball carrying, running at the line, being unwilling to be knocked back, as we see Jack Crowley knocking over the additional 2 points. Excellent from Ireland, not feeling sorry for themselves, being down a couple of numbers, but just simplifying their game with really, really aggressive ball carrying. One from Van der Fleer, second one from Aki, and then the final one for Sheehan to get over the whitewash. Excellent.
And just on that second line from Van der Fleer, if you're watching that replay, Visa just hesitates, which gives Dan Sheehan that soft shoulder to score.
Ireland have done something special in sealing that 7-pointer. 1 minute and 40 seconds to navigate now
feet, 3, let go.
until it's off to the half-time huddles.
Use it.
By the way, Dan Sheehan sitting next to Louis Diabiare as the man who's scored the most tries this year. Remarkable company to keep. But this half is not done, and Malcolm Marks and these Springboks will be desperate to reinstate the 12-point lead they held moments ago. Dialende, always a man for unglamorous meters, and fumbled forward uncharacteristically by Reinach. And if Ireland can survive the scrum, they'll survive the half.
Yeah, the good thing with the scrum and Ireland ball is they can do that quick feed and get the ball out. I don't think Cian Doris, well, certainly the front row won't be thanking him if he hangs around at the back of that.
Jacko, put it on the screen. A hand on the floor in the bottom of that ruck. Yep.
He's not so sure about that ruck, is he? He thinks there might have been a bit of mischief involved.
Okay. So, number 21.
22.
No, we're not. 22.
Oh,
Number 22. Leave the field.
there may be trouble ahead, and there is. Another yellow
Clearly
card.
off his feet. That is the cynical action. Number 22.
You said it, Joe. You said it, Joe. It was the exact same as last week with England, New Zealand. Cynical play in a ruck.
There is a zero tolerance to cynical play, and in this November, it has been a first 40 minutes of autumnal coloured cards for Ireland. 2 yellows, an orange, and big brother Cian bounding on to try and bail out younger brother Sam, who's still watching on from the sidelines. Ireland are down. Well, no, they're back to 13. They were almost down to 12.
6. But interesting, South Africa going to the corner instead of pushing that lead out beyond the score. They really want to back themselves. A lot of pressure making forward now, Joe.
South Africa with the bit between their teeth.
5, get out!
Crunching through the gears. Ty Burns made a nuisance of himself, but he's done so nefariously. How long will Matthew Carley's patience hold?
He seemed like the only one that wasn't listening to it. The responsibility is with his teammates to make sure they drag him out of there if he can't hear it.
Sorry, it's further out here, guys.
I was going to say, initially Matthew Carley was standing on the 5-metre line, and there was probably only one thing South Africa were doing there. But yet again, they're pushing it.
Here's the mark.
That illegal act has allowed them to get closer to the Irish line again. You imagine they'll go to the corner and they'll try to maul
1
them
and
over.
3 green
They should go to a
replacements.
scrum. You've got to go to a scrum here because Ireland now have 2 backs missing.
And here we go. A couple of sticks of early dynamite tossed onto the field from Rassie Bornventer, and Thomas du Toit make way for Gerhard Steenenkamp and Wilco Low, who weighs 144 kilos.
And there's future threats
It's
of
in the standard,
someone going in the
maintain it. High
bin again.
and
He
square.
said there's been 3 scrums
You
in
go
a row.
forward, not left.
Keep it up. It's the last thing Ireland needs. But this is such an unbelievable attacking opportunity because they've got momentum in the scrum. If they do get penalty advantage, they have a 7-on-5 advantage in the backs. Surely they'll find a way to get it done.
Bind! Set!
New faces, same story. Ireland crumbling under the intense pressure of the Springboks pack. A loopy old ball. Feinberg and Gomazulu is going to improvise.
Yeah, I wonder how long Matthew Carney's patience will there is the answer.
4 scrums in a row.
Going to the bin.
4 scrums in a row. He's on the outside and collapsing
Ireland
to the
are
floor.
down to 12.
Time off.
Yeah, you got to say it's fair enough. He's penalised, Andy.
They should have another.
He's judged that Andrew Porter's been illegal in a number of scrums. When you look where that scrum is, there was probably only one thing coming. He did warn them before that scrum. Look, when you're in that front row, there's sometimes not a lot you can do, and this is going to be huge now for Paddy McCarthy.
Well, the question here is, do you put in an additional back onto the side of the scrum because they're down a number to lock in one of the props?
But Josh van der Fleer has been sacrificed so that Paddy McCarthy in his debut test window comes on into this bubbling cauldron.
Time on.
The biggest scrum of this young 22-year-old's life. In front of him, Steenenkamp, Low, Marks.
Crouch! Bind!
And it'll be interesting to watch. It's all Malcolm Marks in this. You want to know the stuff that he does. If you look at the pressure he's putting right through the middle of that scrum.
Ireland obliterated once more. Reinach there, and it was the only option left for Matthew Carley. It's a penalty try, and does it have to be another yellow card?
He's saying no. Thankfully for Ireland's sake, he's saying no. Let's get off for half-time.
I think if that was a game of FIFA, Rico would have to blow it up.
Pandemonium at the Aviva Stadium, and a pantomime reaction from the fans in Dublin for the most most remarkable half of rugby. Ireland end the half with 12 men on the pitch, and they end trailing South Africa 19 points to 7. An incredible second half to come. We've had the fields of Athenry, we've had the Wild Rover, we've even had insomnia, but it is going to be Andy Farrell who may just have sleepless nights after the ill-disciplined deeds of his charges in white on this supercharged night in the Irish capital. The crowd is so partisan, Colosseum-like in its reaction, in its response to the yellow cards, the orange card meting out in that first half. Ireland will restart the second half, trailing 19 points to 7 on the scoreboard, and with just 12 men on the pitch.
See ya. Right, you ready?
Did you hear the one about
Wait for the whistle.
the dozen Irishmen in Dublin?
Okay. Time on.
Well, here comes the punchline.
Thank you, Ireland.
Norkia,
Use it!
Scales, some thickly laden Irish atmosphere. And Hansen makes a tidy claim. It's partisan in the sense as well. Goodness, what a carry from young Paddy McCarthy. Steamrolls Steenenkamp.
Ireland are just going to have to be incredibly direct. Obviously down a couple of numbers. They don't have the capacity to be able to play their usual game, so they're just going to have to be hugely physical, very direct, and make sure those one-on-one collisions are on the positive side of them.
Right on the money. And with a fist, Hansen knocks it back. Gets a bit messy.
On the line, Ireland.
And we'll have a line out.
Yeah, I think those short sides for the next number of minutes till they get the number will be really important. They don't want to keep going around the corner. They don't want to start to run out of numbers and sort of hit it up, maybe one more and then keep coming back.
Well, a telling stat there from the line out, 100% for South Africa, 67% for Ireland. Ordinarily, that'd be a standout, but it is the flurry of cards and...
Clear competition, ball not thrown.
That's the way to curse it, isn't it?
Scrum or line?
Brilliant, we should have had that stat up a little bit earlier in the game from an Irish point of view. Again, it goes to show when you put a bit of pressure on, you compete. Sam Prendergast comes back on. The toe then slightly down the South African side. Ireland not picking the scrum, which is their right, and probably very unsurprisingly, and going to the line out.
Ireland, in we come.
Well, no microphone takes a battering quite like the one an inch from Rassie's mouth on the Quilter Nation Series November. Sam Prendergast back on the field.
Penalty advantage, throwing across.
Skittling, big South African men. Vis of the collateral damage. Byrne chasing, but moody. Majestic all night, coming in from his wing.
He's getting absolutely smashed. Thrown across.
Well, each decision in Ireland's favour is being roared by this Aviva crowd.
I think a few cheers for referee Matt Carley.
Halen, kick it goal. Kick it goal.
One of the decisions went Ireland's way. This crowd feels they've been very hard done by in that first half, but unsurprisingly, Ireland choosing to go for goal, killed another minute at least on that clock, get 1 minute closer to getting an additional player or both players back on the field, keep that scoreboard ticking over. Incredibly, they could get to within 9 points with so much territory and possession being with South Africa in that first half. They're still in touch remarkably.
Yeah, Dirk, I think we knew before the start of this game it was going to be about the aerial battle and the set-piece battle. The aerial battle is maybe at best for Ireland been parity. South Africa are dominating there, but the set-piece has been all South Africa.
The yellow card kid makes amends from the tee, and Ireland got to within 9.
It's very important now that Ireland just stay in, they get out of their own half. You do not want to play rugby. When you're down one player, you don't want to play rugby in your own half. When you're down two, you certainly don't want to be in your own half.
Oh, it's spilled forward, and it immediately puts South Africa in position A coach killer, as they say. And I should add, as well, in all the mayhem, that Tommy O'Brien failed his HIA. So Jack Crowley will stay on when he gets back on. Cian Prendergast, he's been a lively presence from the bench all autumn for Ireland.
Yeah,
enormous role to play in delivering some energy, but first some ballast to this scrum that is in flat-out reverse under the pressure of the box.
Yeah, again, really difficult one for Ireland to defend. The Springboks with 2 players standing in behind the scrum, so they're hedging their bets defensively, Ireland, as to which side they're likely to go. When you're down those numbers, they're kind of shouting instructions at one another depending on what happens at scrum time. Obviously, Ireland have been on the back foot, so if you do get a right shoulder up,
let's go, quick reset.
The likelihood is they will go that right side.
Jameson,
but South Africa have been so square in the scrum as well. They've literally disintegrated that Ireland scrum, so they can pick either side, Rory.
Right. And I think that
a little
big
less
fear
noise
is
from
you
here,
see
please,
Bundy has come down to the flank on this side. They can't afford another penalty and potentially another yellow card. They've got to solidify that. And look, this is almost like one of the games you play in training where you're so many numbers down, you have to try to guess and try to just stay connected.
Well, they're going to go right here because Gibson Park is defending the left-hand side.
Leave it! Penalty advantage.
The Irish scrum pulverised once more. Feinberg and Ngomazulu. Oh, Sata, the superstar, sides through the depleted defence of the Irish. The man who can't stop plundering points for the Boks does it again in Dublin.
This was just such a difficult situation for Ireland to find themselves in. Penalty advantage. They're tracking backwards, and Gibson Park had to do a job on the inside, got a little nudge, and then just didn't have the capacity to be able to get back out. And Sasha Feinberg and Ngomazulu, his running game has been such a standout component of this new South Africa since taking over from Andre Pollard. Obviously plenty of control, but from an athletic point of view, there's very few that exceed his qualities. His running game is outstanding, and the number of tries that he's picked up of late have been testament to that.
I think that from Gibson Park's point of view, when you get checked a little bit, you feel you have to chase a little bit harder, you get a bit high, and then that big fend into the chest. And when you're lying on the ground watching somebody go over the try line, there's not a worse feeling. Again, like you said, Dirk, when you're that many numbers down, you just have to try to find a way, and every minuscule mistake gets exposed.
Yorkett, oh goodness me, flattened the moment he hits terra firma.
No, let it out. Ireland, enough. You're off your feet, 19, stop.
Ireland
use it!
With a 14-point deficit to contend with. Still just 13 on the field.
8 who?
And crossing another penalty against the Irish. They are ratcheting up here.
On the cross.
And just what you want when you're down to 13 and trailing by 14. The Viking berserker.
It's only his 50th cap as well. He won't want to impress on a landmark test match like that. That's the reward you get
to
for
14,
you know,
yes.
physically stepping up for 50 minutes. The bomb squad gets released onto the field, and the likes of R.G. Snyman comes and does his thing.
Curtailed line out, but so slick, and Creel accelerates
Tackle!
on.
Let him go!
The strength of Arki, enough to keep the outside centre at bay. Feinberg and Gomazulu, there's a pep in his step after that try. Peter Scepter tie to Malcolm Mart, dragging Hansel along with him like a caravan.
Good contest. Good contest. First player on his feet.
Paddy McCarthy
Onside.
somehow emerges. And it's Ireland's first turnover of the match.
5, not now. No.
Just when
Use
they needed
it.
it most, just when you thought that
Enough,
try
17.
may begin to open the floodgates. Well, the sanctuary of the touchline found to a modest degree. Ireland still in their 22, and
17 white replacement.
Andrew Porter is going on, but now the turn of RG, the bomb squad OG, a man who always looks like he's moored his longboat in the Liffey en route to Valhalla.
Look, there may have been a forward pass in that lead up with Paddy McCarthy. What a moment.
South Africa.
A couple of big carries when he came on. That turnover there has saved Ireland again.
Please, in.
You feel with this lineup coming up that it's maybe only a respite.
It's over 15. Maul.
Well, in amongst all those changes and turnovers and mayhem, Ireland are back to the full complement, but they are again falling foul of the long arm of Matthew Carley, their 12th penalty conceded in 50 minutes.
It's just can't stop the onslaught, can they? They can't deal with the power. It's starting with this incredible Springbok line-out. Their accuracy has been outstanding, save for that one crooked throw. They have chosen the right option, pushed the boundaries, thrown it long, thrown it short, just mixed their game up. They've been outstanding. It's been a brilliant launch pad for them.
Snyman not even at full extension. Visa engulfed by Baird, by the rest of the Irish pack, who have crowbarred it free from the grip of the box. It is heroic from Ireland, who are under siege right now.
And the reward for that heroics is a scrum, which they're just going to have to get out. But like you said, Dricko, you can't keep conceding penalty after penalty. This is very, very... What an impact from Ryan Baird. It looked like Visa's going to slip under. And then the fight, this is what they need. Doris sort of went round, missed it, and then has worked so hard to get back and taken the ball.
Okay, they're put in, same standards you set for yours.
Well, we've been treated to more than our fair share of scrums this match, chaps. This is Ireland's only third put-in for the entirety of the contest. The result seemingly about to be the same. Gibson Park hooks his foot round. Goodness me, that could be the clearance of the autumn.
Brilliant clearance under wild pressure to not only get the ball out of a retreating scrum, but to hook his leg around the corner under pressure. Gain a whole 50-odd metres.
I was the other side, I'll come look. Yeah, guys. 8.
There's a few more changes heading the way of South Africa. Jasper Lisa, his usual confrontational self departs, and Hwaga Smith I mean, there's a few more impactful replacements in World Rugby than the Olympic bronze medalist, but all of a sudden, it is the South African line out that is under pressure.
One more line. Line out.
That's what Ireland are going to have to do. They're just going to have
On the
to
line.
keep putting good moment on good moment, work
Same
their
as
way
what we
down.
did with Ireland, that
They're only
throw
14
must be
points
in the
down.
middle,
They've now got to
especially
plot
front.
how do
Yes,
they
you're
get
the line.
within 7.
We're inside Ireland's
I think
half.
where they have to get into that South African half. Again, opting for the line out. It's smart play.
Prendergast loses his footing, almost perilously so. Van der Fleer tastes the left shoulder of de Allende. Up she goes. Willemse doesn't make it his. Hansen almost breaking free. And all of a sudden the Aviva believes. Mini moments.
No lift, 2 off the ball.
Can make massive outcomes, or just the deftest of hands from Furlong to Burner. A theatrical tumble to the ground from Gibson Park wins the penalty.
He milked it, but he was absolutely right. The South African, at least 2 players were rolling over Ireland's side. He felt he needed to make a point of the players not being where they shouldn't have been. Matthew Carley had no choice other than to give a penalty. It was quite theatrical, but needs must right now.
Thank you.
4 cards Ireland have seen in this match.
My favourite.
3 of them yellow, 1 of them a 20-minute red. Yet still, Sam Prendergast eyes up the polls to reduce this South African lead to 11. And he nails it.
Now they've got to do, probably haven't been brilliant after it, but they've got to get the ball, they've got to exit, they've got to at least get this halfway line. The next sort of 5-10 minutes for them is about owning that halfway line, getting into that South African half.
Ireland 13, South Africa 21.
Not right in the middle of the pitch next time. Time off.
Ronan Kelleher,
Thank you, that's fine. Time's off.
a line in
Done
all
already.
3 tests as a replacement, plays the same
Time on.
role. In coming on for try scorer Dan Sheehan. Steepling restart right down the gunnels.
Advantage.
Comes off an Irish hand forward. There was definitely a South African jersey involved there too. And Willemse just bouncing around, shoveling to Creel, who shows just raw power from a tight hull. Sneeman forklifted by Kelleher. And then Reinach almost spots a glint of light. Smith, Peter Steph du Toit. Smith just barreling through. An Irish voice boxes roar. And then it's the turn of the Aviva.
Brilliant from Cian Prendergast. Once again, you talked about the impact he's made over this Quilter Nation series. That is a huge, huge turnover.
95.
Referee couldn't quite see it. It happened so fast. But he got himself latched on really early on. As the player went down, he was first man arriving. And not only did he lock himself in there, he stayed in the fight, and it took the referee a bit longer than he would have liked to award the penalty. Nonetheless, it came his way, and relief
How many
for
on the line
Ireland.
out, guys?
2 big moments from the bench on
Time
their
on.
own line.
6
Cian
man.
Prendergast there. We talked already about Paddy McCarthy's one.
Please.
These are sort of
Time's
moments
on,
now we've got to
thank
keep
you.
winning. Pressure on the Irish line out.
Huh?
Ronan Kelleher's come on. This is first throw.
Not part of the tackle.
Very
for
much
me.
come on to try to solidify that scrum.
Not part of the
He's
tackle.
known as being a
Not
very,
a
very
tackler.
strong scrummager in there, but he's got to nail his line out.
That man, Cian Prendergast, Kelleher. It does find the Irish arms, but then it's Pilford. Smith bringing his trademark dynamism from the bench. Dialende has Van der Fleer swinging from his hips.
Away.
Yorkia ignored. Smith, Feinberg, Ngomazulu. Peter stepped aside. Keeps the ball in somehow. Sasha selling dummies. And Matthew Carley almost wiped out in the process. Low. Pumps those gargantuan pistons.
Away, Ireland!
And takes the box to within 6.
Advantage of feet.
Another penalty surrendered, the long tentacles of Sneijman.
Support your weight.
Don't quite find the support.
As we saw in the first half, it was Tyke Byrne didn't listen to the referee's instructions on that occasion. I think it was Kelleher who latched on. I think he was part of the tackle. He didn't release clearly because he got himself in a good position.
And we say so long to one of the rising stars of rugby and one of the true icons of global sport. Sasha Feinberg and Ngomazulu is followed by Siad Khaleesi. 50 test triumphs as captain. Will tonight be a 51st. Marnie Libot is on. And in place of Khaleesi, the latest creation from the Willy Wonka of world rugby, Andre Esterhuizen slots himself in to the back row.
He's certainly big enough to play there anyway.
The once upon a time centres metamorphosis into flanker pretty much complete this autumn. 2 tries so far, Japan and France the victims.
Amazing what job Esterhuizen has done as this hybrid player, the capacity to play in his more natural position of 12, but seems just as much at home playing on the flank. Scored a number of tries in that 6th position. Just his ball carrying coming around the corner, but then the subtlety of his ball handling as well complements the way that the Springboks are trying to play the game. Force up front, uncompromising, and then beautiful subtlety of handling in the backs also.
Take it out, take it out.
He doesn't have a legs tape, Greco, so maybe the line out is a work
down,
on
no,
for him.
let go of him, let go of him.
Ryan Akinport to use it. Smith with jets in his heels. Drives to the line.
That ball is out, ball was out.
Ball out, Esterhuizen, almost. Now the turn, the nod of a former Hurricane, the Yokohama Eagles soaring to the line. But wrapped up in the arms of the Irish. But there was always the penalty in the back pocket. Ireland, the architects of their own downfall right now in terms of their repeated indiscretions.
Okay, time off. 3, 1 and 7 replacement.
If there hadn't been 4 yellow cards or 3 yellow cards and a red card already, the cumulative effect of these penalties, you would have thought that Matthew Carley was going to reach into his pocket once more.
And then it went down on this side, that's why I said play away.
Andrew Porter, Tyke Furlong and Josh Van der Fleer are replaced by Paddy McCarthy, Finlay Beelum and Jack Conan.
Guys, what do you want? Scrum?
Yeah, they've got to try to do something here. South Africa going for the scrum from the penalty right onto the Irish throat, so even if they can just about stem the tide, if they give penalty advantage both sides of the pitch to attack from Drico here, very, very difficult for Ireland to defend this, but they've got to stop this at source.
Keane, can we have a definitive answer?
Well, maybe that change is premature because Ryan Baird is hobbling around in the in-goal area. And, well, a late change. Josh Van der Fleer will stay the course, and Ryan Baird is lost to the game, and most crucially, he's lost to the Irish line-out as well. Van der Fleer, who's coming back from injury, is going to have to go to the well. An 11-point game, but into South Africa's championship quarter. This is where they put teams to the sword. And they've a prime piece of attacking real estate right here.
Time off.
From which to launch from.
Let's go quickly.
Finlay Bealham in the scrum now. He is technically gets in an unbelievable position.
Slow the cadence
he
down.
will most
Everybody,
definitely look to get as low as he can.
And listen to the calls,
he doesn't have a vast amount of weight compared to Tadhg Furlong going off the pitch, but if he can get himself into that scrum, into the right position, and you just have got to grit your teeth and hold on.
And we just saw there as well just quite how ruthless these Springboks have been when entering the red zones into this 22 area. 4.25 per visit. A nosedive from the Irish front row, and well, you'd venture we're gonna see a repeat call and Bealham put under the cosh once more.
Full the ban taking scrums from penalties,
Let's go. Let's go. Make sure there's enough space, please. Put your head in the gap.
14, we're still only an hour mark. 14 penalties. Ordinarily in international rugby, you would do your level best to keep it in and around the 10 mark, ideally underneath. You want to still be competing, playing on the edge. You know, those super low numbers seem to be a thing of the past because you got to push the boundaries, but certainly 14 after an hour is an incredibly high number.
I mean, what happens here, Rory? What happens here?
Engage with his head above his hips.
Well, that's
two
now
in a row.
the fifth
It's not giving me a lot of options. Scrummage up, please.
I think, like you said earlier, because of the number of cards, he's maybe taking the very, very lenient approach on Ireland. But
you know it as well. If you're as captain, right? You've got Springbok captain has to be in Matthew Carley's ear, saying, "Come on, we're trying to play here. We're trying to scrum. It's a real strength." You know, we're repeatedly. You're penalising them. Where's the next card? I know you don't want players requesting yellow cards, but he's got to start squeezing pressure because it's obviously a real Achilles heel of Ireland in this particular game, and Springboks have been preying on it.
You definitely feel the next one will be yellow, so Ireland are just going to have to find a way here.
Stability. A rare sight, but not so rare as Matthew Carley's arm extended to that of the Springboks. Almost picked off, almost red. Instead a crunching shot from Gary Ringrose. It's all in vain though, because the advantage is there. Ireland will receive their fourth yellow card of the match. Paddy McCarthy dismissed for a dive for 10 minutes and well, a quick tap beats everyone.
The player has to leave the field.
Yeah, I think unsurprisingly we did say it probably should have been one penalty before, for being honest about it, but once that penalty advantage came, you knew it was only going to be one course of action. Paddy McCarthy's off again. They're going to go for the scrum, and from a South African point of view, why wouldn't you? You have a massive strength in there. Ireland looked like they'd stemmed the tide on that one. They'd got their height really, really low. But again, we talked about Malcolm Marks. We talked about that ability when Ireland are pinning it and keeping it low just to lift the whole scrum. And we're talking about half an inch.
I'm staying here and
then the weight came through.
And the terrible thing is that there's nothing they can do about it. Like, there's an air of inevitability about from very early on. As Josh van der Fleer is obviously being replaced by Andrew Porter coming on to get into that front row, but what do you
Yeah,
say?
gotta go this way.
What's the micro
We've got
conversation
to go wide of the
like
post.
in that
You
front
can't
row
scum
now?
it into the post.
Draco, I've been on both sides of it. When you're in that South African team at the minute, you just cannot wait for the next scrum. You know you're going to get dominance. You know you're going to destroy them. You're actually cannot wait to get into it. And from an Irish point of view, every time there's a mistake, a knock-on or a penalty, you're just dreading, and all you're trying to do. And what you'll find is now that Ireland will try to problem solve a little bit on their own, because everyone's now panicking, and that is, it's a natural instinct, but it's the last thing they need to do. They really need to work on that cohesion, get those 8 players in that scrum, and just work really, really hard.
Time off.
And hope the referee gives them something.
You're both heading down in a set. We'll go again.
Banyaki has become a scrummaging expert all of a sudden. He spent that long bolted onto the flank tonight. But he's turning to the assistant, imploring
Please stay
for a
high.
penalty
Let's
for
go.
the South African replacement prop. I think Steenenkamp going down there. He's adamant, isn't he?
We talked about Esther Hazen, but if anyone else is mad enough in World Rugby that plays centre to want to go into that back row, it's certainly Bundy.
The outside, Andrew, thank you. Crouch! Behind! Set! Use it, take it out. Stay down, get down, thank you.
South Africa, numbers roaring round the corner, but Hansen reads Libbok's intentions.
Onside.
Still, they fold round to the left. Snyman deployed, scooped into the arms of Dialende. Caelan Doris. Penalty again.
Penalty
in advantage against Ireland. Surely they can't lose another.
Offside, 12. Offside.
Byrne was furious with the referee that he wasn't given a jackal on that initial carry from South Africa on the scrum. They didn't quite get it right. It was R.G. Snyman in. It was the play before that one.
It's a hand injury and we don't need him on the line. Kick to the corner.
And then there's the penalty coming in at the side, or playing the 9. Either take your pick.
That is Ireland's 18th penalty of the match, and in the background of all of this, they're going to lose Mac Hansen, who was an injury question mark, the heavy strapping on his right hand, but it looks to be the boot. And Tom Farrell, what an environment to come in and win your second international cap. Ireland's oldest debutant for a decade against Japan, and no time to hang around. South Africa are looking to finish this match, to end the contest that Ireland have refused to allow them to do. Malcolm Marks enwrapped in Irish arms again. Doris in the thick of things, and maybe cleared out beyond the ruck. Norkia gets short shrift. Nessie Ball, Walker Smith loses control, and just listen to this stadium when they realise what's happened.
He's going to need to go off.
Each mini win, each siege lifted is galvanising this Aviva crowd. Warriors like Malcolm Marks wear the wounds of a game of pure grit and dedication to the emblem.
Ireland may well not win this game, but there's going to be a way to lose it as well, and you can see it in the reactions of these players as well, around how much heart they're showing on their defensive line, how they're unwilling to be crossed. And I think you find out an awful lot about yourself in adversity like this, when the going's been against you. Whether you're there for the fight or whether you roll over. And so far this Irish team has dug in time and time again.
Six man.
Penalty after penalty, but body on the line stuff. Really, really impressive, considering how much of the game has gone away from them.
Robillard gets his first line out, claimed cleanly by his teammates. And for the first time, Ireland don't have the paint of their try-line on the backs of their heels in such a long time. But still, it's all-out defensive mode. They're still looking to solve this relentless attack that has gifted them a bit of cherished possession.
Not now, not now. No.
Tom Farrell into the fray and making his mark. Phelan with more space than he's ever known in international rugby.
Let go.
Wasn't sure what to do, Joe.
Prendergast wore a blur of green rising on his horizon. Doris to Kelleher, split in two.
No. Use it. Stay on. Nothing silly.
The aerial assault is renewed. Farrell under it. Ball squirts free, and Diolende is made of granite.
Okay, thank you.
Just rides the challenge from Ringrose. Norkia getting through a mountain of work.
Galen out.
This cursed number 5 jersey for so much of the autumn. It's the first time
Use it.
anyone wearing that number jersey's been on at this stage in the match in the last 3 weeks. Oh, a kind bounce, a vacant backfield, a Crowley, cool as a cucumber.
Yeah, very well covered. It's also important that Ireland,
On the line, Ireland.
they keep sort of fighting back in the storm, but they don't go into their shells either. There was an opportunity there a couple of minutes ago to go out the back and test South Africa on the edges. They can't, just because they're starting to tire with that unbelievable defensive effort they've had. They still, when those chances are there, because there's not going to be many of them, they need to score twice. They're going to have to go after South Africa as well when they have the ball.
More danger arriving in Grant Williams,
Timing's good.
try scorer in Paris and last week against Italy. And a bomb
Backwards off white.
just about diffused by Irish arms. Ringrose on his return since Chicago has just done all the nitty-gritty,
Inside.
the down and dirty.
Good competition. Hold still, hold still. Thank you. All on.
At the moment, there is a bit of a sense of Ireland bailing out the life raft, and they just can't break free into the South African half. They can't row their way across that threshold. Robillard, his first time facing the Irish. Prendergast,
Fine, play on.
oh really? Makes some trouble. Oh,
Off
it's
a
a
knee, play on, off
mighty
a knee.
clear out, but it could be a messy one. As Peter
Come out, thank you,
Steptoe
Andrew.
clutches his face in the aftermath. In the pocket is Libok. Another one dropped on the Irish backfield.
Knock on
Remember
advantage.
they're reorganised and missing some of their talisman. Hansen, O'Brien departed the field.
Knock on advantage.
It's a makeshift backline. Square pegs in round holes.
Away, no, 17, out. Thank you. Knock on advantage over.
Prendergast reaches for a little more distance, and Libot claims it like he's just kicking a ball around in the backyard. No pressure. Now it's Willemse. Porter.
Matador.
With Williams hanging with a handful of jersey. Beautifully drifted ball. And low wraps round the shoulder. Outrageously charged down by Colby. Then he spots some space. Crowley empties the lungs. Oh, that is outrageous. He slaloms through the remnants of the Springbok
Taken
chasers.
in.
And is that another mini moment to feed the ambitions
Jameson, thank you.
of a comeback that just seems insurmountable? We're into the final 10 minutes. and Ireland will not surrender. Moody to finish it for South Africa, but Crowley with a last gasp stretch of the digits.
Knocked on by South Africa.
Has
Goal line
denied
dropout.
the Springbok winger.
A couple of outstanding moments from Jack Crowley, not giving up the fight, contesting till the death. That is class from the Munster man. Initially under huge pressure in the backfield, chasing a kick back, and that one fighting till the end. You gotta love it.
Ireland catch the Springboks sleeping. Less than 9 minutes to do the extraordinary. Prendergast, if anyone's going to unlock this defence, it's him. Farrell launches a speculator. Colby is sniffing, and Lowe is hammered back towards his line. All credit to these Springboks. They are snuffing out any attacking ambition.
Off feet now,
It
off
is
feet.
being explored
Dead
by
now, 16.
this courageous team in white.
Use it. Onside.
Bit of additional scaffolding offered on the ruck. And once again, Gibson Park clears, but once again, Ireland will brace themselves for a South African onslaught. Craig Casey's on for Jamison, Gibson Park, and Andrew Porter gets to put his feet up for a third time tonight as Paddy McCarthy is reinstated. He owed him one for the first half, yellow. As you said, Brian, whatever happens, we've been treated to the most extraordinary evening from both these sides.
There's actually quite an amazing energy in the stadium at the moment, literally willing on every action, every win, every moment that Ireland are getting the better of South Africa. I don't think there's much expectation now to go and win the game. Obviously, 8 minutes to go, a couple of scores behind, but it's the unwillingness to fold, the unwillingness to give in at any point is what's been the hallmark and the DNA of this Andy Farrell team for a number of years, and it's so good to see it once again with this transition of players coming through, that it's built into the new generation as well.
Right, well, this is going to be an interesting one because there have been some immense performances, both sides of the ball. Let's have a look at our Quilter Player of the Match contenders.
Going off. Changing.
Yeah, the Quilter Player of the Match contenders. Malcolm Marks has had a big impact in the set piece. Jesper Wiese, some of that carries footwork. Opus Reinach has been moving the pack around well, kicking very well, and obviously Sasha Feinberg of Ngona Zulu has been very, very good, albeit behind a pack that is going forward at a rate of knots. Not surprisingly, all of the Quilter Player of the Match contenders are South African. Despite the effort that Ireland have shown, certainly in the last 20 minutes, as Gricko was saying.
That face right there just sums up the battle, the war that we've had front row seats for this evening. And Malcolm Marks with the mummified forehead.
Blood reversal.
Barely a moment to let the tape stick. And Thomas du Toit bound onto the field for another shift. Wilco Lowe, the latest piece of debris to be removed from the field, and Jan Grobbelaar as well.
Neck injury to a prop.
I wonder in Malcolm Marks, are we seeing the next World Player of the Year? He's been so close on a number of occasions. He's been outstanding this year, shortlisted once again.
Snyman has the ball thieved from his grip, and Van der Fleer gleans a few more precious meters for this plucky Irish side, who along with everyone in the stadium just somehow still believe a wonderful read from Esther Hazen, and Ireland have landed themselves in some self-made choppy waters. Prendergast just rips it off the right hand to his brother. South Africans pour themselves into the breakdown and then commit their bodies to the ensuing hit.
Use it! Not now, not now.
No point in Ireland overplaying their hand deep in territory. Those loop passes are playing their way into South African hands. It's exactly what they want, their ability to react with their blitz defence.
Lost forward initially and then claimed from an offside position by Khwaga Smith.
Yeah, behind the mark.
Yeah, just on Dricko's point, he's absolutely right. This is about being smart, as well as showing an intent to play. Saw the kick go up, knock on by South Africa. Not sure who it was, South African player then in front of the ball, picks it up, gives Ireland a penalty, and it allows them to get right down the field. That's a 70-80-metre gain.
Ireland, for what it's worth, have equalled the record for the most cards by a single side in an international test this evening. Yet still, Andy Farrell's men are within 11 points of the world champions and within 30 metres of their line. They couldn't possibly, could they? Harkey and Van der Fleer combine again. Kelleher, a slip in midfield, almost opened things up, but a brilliant read and hit from Steenenkamp snuffs out the threat. Ireland's only attack in recent memory. The Prendergast combine.
Not now.
Byrne, Kelleher, Doris thumped to the deck, and then the counter, then the unrelenting desire, then the South Africanness, the Rassie has spoken of week after week.
Oh, this shot on
I will deal with it.
Prendergast. I thought it was actually bigger than it was. He's kind of just picked up, but that's what you get with Prendergast. He takes the ball to the line aggressively. The two Prendergasts being brave right on the line, trying to suck in defenders.
You take your team, trust me.
Got to put yourself at a little bit of risk to create space for others around
There was
you.
a knock-on on the floor by their player, but players screaming in players' faces on the floor and celebrating something like that is not tolerated on the field, so it would be a penalty. Don't do that again.
This is what Ireland need, you know, a little bit of a break again. They got the talking back to the referee, screaming and shouting on the knock-on, and all of a sudden they have a chance to go to the corner.
They're not going for a scrum.
No, that wasn't good enough. But the Queen's team that you did, that wasn't good enough. Control what you can control.
Has the Aviva known noise like this in recent memory?
Clearly out, please, Andre. Thank you. Don't come in. Stay out.
To a man, all 50,000 plus on their feet. Van der Fleer, charging to the line, pirouetting free. And South Africa just about plugged the hole. Casey to Paddy McCarthy.
19.
The young club denied, but still there. For Ireland, for Doris. Shot down by Libor. Prendergast, the double plum. Farrell gets himself in a tangle. But Ireland crucially retain the ball. Beelan in space again. Advantage for Ireland. Flipped out the back. It won't mean anything for Moody. But with 3 minutes on the clock, it's now or never. And
Multiple in that sequence.
it's the half-centurion. The decibels in Dublin are crescendoing to the levels like never before. R.G. Snyman sent from the field. Ireland with a numerical advantage for the first time all night.
No, it's fine. So we had an early contact at the line-out. That was one incident on its own. We then had an offside on the line, but the TMOs told me there was a player in touch before that. Because it was for multiple infringements, he will come back, but it's still your penalty.
Yes. On the 15.
Okay, Keane, can you send him back? Yes.
On the 15.
It's a penalty over here.
So,
15 because it was early contact at the line-out. You can just take a line-out.
so the foot on the line supersedes the yellow card, but there's still a penalty for repeated
Early
infringements.
contact at the line-out.
So RG Sneyman gets a reprieve.
It's on the line.
I don't know how it was allowed to play on for as long as it did.
Tap it. Make sure you clearly tap it.
Callagher targets the man. Just given a second chance. Van der Fleer takes 3 Springboks to stop him. Doris. Oh, a tectonic hit. Dublin shaken to the core. Farrell. Callagher. He's been so purposeful, so impactful since coming from the bench. So too Paddy McCarthy. The long arms of the world champions wrapped around him. Crowley nowhere to go. Cian Prendergast. Conan read to a T by Grant Williams.
No, South Africa! Advantage.
The door of opportunity slammed shut. South Africa, surely this time's the yellow card.
It's unlucky on Marks, but the referee is right. It's Grant Williams who's lying on the ball, not rolling away.
Hang on.
That allowed Marks get into a good position.
Got to let him lead the field.
It's the cumulative penalties that have worked so
Hold on,
badly
the
against
assistant.
Ireland now on South Africa.
Back.
Ireland have 87 seconds to score to give them the chance to go back for one more. Oh, the strength! A slither away, time ebbing away.
Short!
Conan denied.
On the line.
Casey, Prendergast goes long, goes to Gibson Park, who spills. And Colby, with a bit of gamesmanship, takes some time out of the clock, and tensions bubble.
No.
It'll all help the clock as far as South Africa are concerned.
No, not all the while that's happening. When you're ready, come on.
45 seconds from the unimaginable to be on the cards. Doris! Driven as the Springboks cry.
First player on his feet, only player on his feet.
And Hwaga Smith
He's got the ball.
emerges with the ball. And with Ireland's hopes. But another turnover. Doris, Prendergast, an intentional knockdown.
Knock on at least.
Gibson
advantage.
Park. Colby is there. It'll be a yellow and a penalty. And the clock will evaporate.
Knock on, there is time for the scrum.
He was happy enough with it being an unintentional knockdown. I'd love to have another look at that, because there's 51,000 people
We
not so
believe on
sure.
field it's a knock on only. The TMO tells us it's wrong. Knock on only, TMO is confirmed. Yeah.
Come, let's go.
In fairness to him,
Let's go.
he gets 2 hands to it.
Ireland.
He gets 2
Come on,
hands
let's
to it.
go.
I'm not one for
Good finish, please. for
missing
everyone.
those intercepts, but I think there's enough of an effort to try and catch that.
Ireland now simply playing for pride. But my, what pride they've shown.
Crouch! Fine!
14 men of South Africa to target.
Please, when I'm trying to set a scrum, it's really unsafe if you're talking to me. Don't do that. Don't, no, don't, please. It's really difficult. Here we go.
Well, he was captain in the summer, and Craig Casey
Let's
has
just
sort of
take our
taken
time.
on that
Right,
role as he
bind up,
badgers
allow him
Matthew
to bind.
Carley a little too much.
It's like dealing with one of your kids. Don't say anything, and then they say something anyway, just for the sake of it.
Let him bind.
He's so full of energy, Craig Casey.
Crouch!
The game's already won,
Bind!
but Rassie Erasmus will not relent. Casey travels down an alleyway, but there's a lot of big men in green. Van der Fleer.
Inside.
There's not going to be enough bath salts in Dublin to ease the pains of the Irish open side after his performance. Archie, the back row. Conan, pass under pressure, doesn't go forward.
Knock on advantage.
And finally, Cheslin Colby will draw to a close. The most helter-skelter match you'll ever see in the Test Arena. The Springboks have won. Ireland have lost. But you'll never hear a more impassioned response from a stadium for a home defeat. Reduced to 12 at one stage. They saw 5 cards, Ireland. Yet they stayed in the fight to the very end. But the might of the double world champions proved too much. A quite incredible night in the Irish capital. One that sees South Africa triumphant, 24 points to 13. Right, chaps, if you've caught your breath, it's time to explore your quilter player of the match.
Yeah, for me, the quilter player of the match, and it's not a biased view at all, but it has to be a hooker. It has to be Malcolm Marks. As Dricko talked about, are we going to see him unveiled as the World Player of the Year as well? Quite possibly, but tonight he was exceptional. Talked about it being a huge set-piece battle today. He led that scrum. He threw incredibly well in the line-outs. And around the pitch, he was a menace to break down. He carries well. He has had a fantastic season. And he's capped it off tonight in his second last game of the season. One more game against Wales for these guys. But what a phenomenal performance for that man tonight.
So the quilter player of the match, and a man who's done no damage to his World Rugby Men's Player of the Year nomination is South Africa's hooker Malcolm Marks. As we see these behemoth Boks exhaling, probably a little in disbelief at the fight that's just been put up against them by this Irish side. And Brian, I just wonder, do the rest of the world look at this and say they're beatable?
Well, listen, we've come a long way, this Ireland team, from glorious losses from the 80s and 90s, where we were plucky for 60 minutes and then ran out of steam. Well, this team had it all up against them in that first half. Multiple yellow cards, the red card, decisions. Now, certainly this crowd thought were going against them, but they never lost heart. And sometimes there is a way to lose. You can lose by capitulating, by conceding, or you can lose by rolling your sleeves up, digging in. And I haven't seen too many better 11-point losses considering what has happened in this 80 minutes. There's a lot to be proud of. In defeat, you'll always be disappointed, but there's lots of good stuff to take from this performance and this outcome.
Yeah, absolutely, Dricko. I think when the crowd, when their home team's 11 points down and they're still making that noise in the dying embers of the game, it suggests that a lot of that heart, and a lot of that passion, a lot of that pride was there. I think both coaches will look at this and be very happy with parts, will be unhappy with other parts. Andy Farrell obviously very disappointed with the discipline. Rassie Erasmus will be delighted that his team has come to Dublin and achieved what he hasn't done as a South African coach yet. So, look, yeah, a lot to take away from it. It wasn't perfect, but it was a really enthralling game.
Well, we mustn't forget that this is the first time in 13 long years that the Springboks will leave Dublin victorious. Rassie Erasmus has never done it. He's never done it before. Only Eben Esterbeth knew what it felt like to leave the Irish capital as a victor. But boy, have they had to fight every last inch of it. For many people's money, this South African outfit, the greatest side to ever exist, rivaling that the 2011 and 15 All Blacks. And it comes from big players like our Quilter player of the match, Malcolm Marks.
Malcolm, you got your victory here at the Aviva. Was that game as crazy to play in as it was to watch?
Yeah, as you can tell by the way that I look, it was. Always a tough outing against the Irish. We know what a quality side they are. We knew it was going to be tough and it was going to be a grind till the end, but yeah, very happy with the way the guys fought and the character that they showed throughout the last couple of weeks, and especially this week to come up and eventually get a win at the Aviva.
Just, if you will, take us into that scrum during this game. I know you were on and off a bit and you didn't play all 80 minutes, but it was an area of real success and focus for you guys, and it looked like you were enjoying yourselves.
Yeah, I think we got some good success, but also at times when we were down here in the second half, we weren't as successful as we would have liked to be. But I will obviously take it. You know, it's like I said before, they're a quality side, and playing against a quality side like them is always going to be a tough matchup.
And I think you guys clearly dominant today, worthy victors, but a word for Ireland, because at one point they're down to 12 men, and geez, they didn't give up, eh?
No, I think the character that they showed was immense. Having 12 guys on the field and still keeping us out for a good number of minutes just shows the character and how strong of a bond they have as a team. Yeah, but obviously a massive congratulations to them on a great end of your tour, and yeah.
And a congratulations to you, mate. Great win. I think you got a few stitches to put in there.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Thanks so much.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah.
Our Quilter player of the match there, and a very happy, very relieved group, and a gesture from Rassie Erasmus to the Aviva crowd. A few Irishmen in that back room there as well, helping Rassie on his way to victory. A hard-fought one that has been a long time in the making. Goodness me, what endeavour from the Irish, led by their captain, Caelan Doris.
Caelan, firstly, commiserations on the result. Just how do you manage out there as a senior player, as a leader? How do you manage that sort of carnage with the yellow cards and all?
Trying to get a little bit of calm in the chaos. It was something that we've referenced quite a few times in the week, knowing that there's going to be chaotic times, knowing that there's going to be momentum periods for them, and we're going to be massively under pressure, and enjoying those moments is what we spoke about. And I felt we dug in really well at times in the first half, obviously down to 11 or 12 at one stage, and just making things happen as best as possible. Some really good defensive efforts, but ultimately the discipline let us down. Their scrum in particular gave them territory, points, pressure, and that paved the way for a win for them.
There's a balance, isn't there? Do you think that the ill discipline came from you guys, you know, perhaps not concentrating or focusing, or actually from the pressure they were able to exert, especially at set piece?
Yeah, it's both. I mean, we were very aware that it's a strong point of theirs. We've faced them several times in the past, and if you don't get your scrum or set piece right against these guys, you're in for a tough day, and that was showcased today.
And you guys are one of the best teams in the world. You're winners. I know it's tough to lose, but is there any consolation taken from you and the rest of the team from the fight you put in there? Because if this was a boxing match, they never knocked you out.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talked about showing character over November, over the last few weeks, and there was definitely signs of that. You always hope the character transfers into points and into results, and it didn't today, but like you say, I think it will still stand to us going forward.
Thanks, Caelan, very much. Cheers.
Cheers, thank you.
Well, they may not have knocked Ireland out, but they've landed a lusty blow on that left eyebrow of Caelan Doris. Let's hear from the Springbok captain, Siya Kolisi.
I've lost all my emotion. So cool.
Sia, you got the win here at the Aviva. You waited a while for that. Did it feel good?
Yeah, it definitely did feel good. It was a weird game. It was a tough game. I give credit to Ireland, the way they fought. And they made it tough for us with they played with 14 men half of the time. But I'm proud of the way the boys fought today, and especially at the end, the way that we fought, so we couldn't give a try away.
Oddly, it can be quite difficult to play against a team with reduced numbers, and there's an expectation on you to instantly dominate.
Yeah.
Was it as mad out there and as hard to get your head around as it was to watch? Because it was a crazy game to watch.
Yeah, because you see so many opportunities happen, and then you become indecisive, and that plays into the opposition's hand, you know. And but I think we handled it well. We're very proud of the win. It's the first time for us as this group and this coaching staff ever here. They're a tough team to play against.
Just tell us how much you enjoyed those scrums. I know you're on the back row, so yeah, you are helping out, but just tell us how much you enjoyed.
No, I definitely did. I definitely did. The boys worked hard on it this week. It was tough last week against, we played Italy. It was really tough, but to come back and get a result in the scrums was really good for the boys.
Congratulations, great win.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks,
Thank you.
All the best.
Well, Sia Khaleesi, the totem of this South African juggernaut that is looking to reach heights that no side really has ever done from their continent. That's the tale of the tape, but really one page of stats could never do a contest like that justice. The penalties conceded 18 for Ireland. That proved to be terminal for them, but it was the card count. 5 for Ireland to South Africa's 1, reduced to 12 at one stage, but South Africa prevailing. Their quest to scale Europe's rugby peaks continues and climaxes in Cardiff next week. Full time at the Aviva Stadium. Ireland 13, South Africa 24.
Andy, of course, you plan for scenario after scenario before games like this. Have you ever seen anything like that?
Never. You think you have? Well, yeah, I mean, it just kept going from bad to worse, didn't it? And yeah, I don't think anyone knew what was going on at one stage. But anyway, I mean, when you sum it all up amongst all the chaos, first of all, congratulations to South Africa. I thought they managed the chaos pretty well and kept us under pressure and kept the ball down the right end of the field. But the courage that our lads showed through going down to 12 men, actually winning the scoreline 6-5 in the second half is unbelievable, really.
Yeah, I wondered if there's any consolation for you there, because I know you've lost a game you were desperate to win, but they never quite took you out, did they? You never went away.
No, I mean, yeah, you want to win games, you want to play well, and wow, I mean, if there's not any learnings in that, then we might as well all go home. So it's fantastic for our character, our learning, our game control, how we managed our exits there. You know, towards the end wasn't quite right, and you know, we had a chance to score the try there, 4 minutes to go, and we should have converted that. And who would have known after that, like, you know? But having said all that, I would have thought the bigger picture would be unbelievably proud of the effort from the boys.
And when you look at the discipline issue and all those cards, do you look at it as concentration, pure Irish ill-discipline, or actually the pressure you were put under? Their set piece was massive today. There was a lot of pressure out there.
Yeah, and they applied that pressure, so that's why it's congratulations to them, and they earned the victory very well. 7 scrum penalties, and you know, a liner that was under pressure because of the way that they run it. You know, I suppose you look at 3 offside penalties, they're the ones that they're soft, like, you know, you shouldn't be giving those away, but how we hung in there and had each other's back stands out to me for sure.
Yeah, massive effort. Thanks, Faz.
Thanks, mate. Cheers. Thanks, mate. Thanks.